Today I'm going to show you a puddle pour with a twist. Hi, hope you guys are having a great Friday. Had a good week. I'm going to call it kangaroo pour. These kangaroos have 5 legs because their tails act as a leg. So I want to try this. I made this out of moldable thermoplastic last night. Just kind of want to see what it does. It doesn't touch in the center, but I'm basically going to do a puddle pour, but right through the middle. This first trial, I'm not going to put anything down on the board ahead of time. I just kind of want to see how the paint reacts. 2 of them aren't, I think 2, maybe 1. This one is just off the surface. It's not quite touching, but it still should interact with the paint. So we'll see how it goes. The paint mixture I'm using is 1:1 paint to Liquitex pouring medium, and then doubled that again with Floetrol. The actual paint is Deco Art paint. It tends to give me a thinner mix, which a lot of times I don't like, but for this I knew I kind of wanted something thinner so it would cover more area, and I knew it would take a lot of paint because I'm trying not to tilt it too much. Do be careful with Floetrol though, it gets a little lumpy. If you have a big piece to do or a commission you're worried about or something like that, you might want to strain the Floetrol as you put it in, or just strain the final mix of the paint. You can just use the foot of an old pair of pantyhose and pour it into a different cup or a bottle, whichever you like using better. I'm using a board here because I knew there'd be a lot of paint and a canvas would have a hard time taking the weight in the middle. If you do use a canvas, I put a couple extra cups or a cup in a pad or something in the middle of the canvas just to give it a little bit of support in the middle. That way you don't end up with a thick puddle in the middle of the canvas where it's sagging down. Now, I didn't want to tilt too much, but I wanted to cover the edges, so try to do a little slow tilt. I was also a little worried about how thick the paint was, and if you get it too thick it's going to crack when it dries or craze, or it won't be a good look. So I wanted to try to thin it out a little bit, and also just the tilting will give me a sense of how thick it really was. Now if you're trying to get a corner covered, if you start tilting a little bit towards the corner you're going after, and then give it a quick little dip, it usually covers the corner pretty well. Now I'm tempted to keep playing with this a little bit more and maybe drag like a toothpick or a coffee stir or something through the middle and do a swirl. But being the first time I'm using this kangaroo thing, I want to just kind of see what it does on its own. Here it is after it dried. The biggest change is probably in the photo editing. The camera picks up the metallic as noise, so I did a lot of smoothing out. So I hope y'all have a great weekend. I have a couple projects I'm working on for next week that I'm really excited to show y'all.